All right, good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m., which means I will call us to order. Welcoming you all to the regularly scheduled board meeting for the El Segundo Board of Education on May 10th, 2022. Time is flying. We will begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice President Wheaton. All right. We will move into the agenda hearing period and public communications now. Ms. Adams, do we have any cards from anyone? Did anyone want to speak at public communications and just not turn in the handy little card yet? No. Seeing no movement toward the podium, I will take that as a no, thank you. And we'll move into one of many lovely presentations tonight. So first up tonight, we have an update from the El Segundo Education Foundation. Mr. Frank Glenn, Mr. Chairperson, if you'll come forward, it's your turn at the podium.
Thank you, Madam President and members of the board. A couple of things to bring to your attention tonight. One is that the Academy by Ed sign-ups are in full swing, and we have enrichment classes for all grades, so check the website and I'm sure you'll find something for your kids. We have advancement courses for the high school in chemistry, geometry, music appreciation, photography, U.S. history, and world history. And the classes start on June 13th and they go for 5 weeks. So hopefully you'll find something interesting there. And then the big news of the week, of course, is that we have the gala on Friday night, and we have a fantastic night prepared for everyone to attend. We're delighted to be able to announce that we have almost 1,000 attendees. So it's going to be a great night. We have food and drink, we have dance, and we have a live auction and a silent auction. So come on down, and there will be a big surprise. I don't even know what it is, but it's right there on the agenda. It says surprise. So I'll be as surprised as everyone else. So looking forward to seeing you all there, and thanks for your support.
Great. Thank you for being here, and looking forward to Friday night for sure. Yes. Okay, our next special presentation tonight is our student representative report. Mr. Stoker.
Thank you. It's been an exciting last 2 weeks at the high school. Election week was 2 weeks ago, and Natalie Long won ASB president, and Katie Duran won ASB vice president. All the other winners have been posted on our school Instagram, but Natalie Long will be taking my place here next year. We are in the second week of AP testing. The Play Chicago was last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The auditorium was filled to the brim with students, and the show was amazing. Teacher Appreciation Week was last week. College Pride Day was last Friday. Softball had a CIF game last Thursday. The Hometown Fair was on Saturday. We had 6 clubs and class booths at the fair. And prom is this Saturday. That's all.
That's all. That sounds like plenty. My goodness. It is that time for our high schoolers. All right. Well, this is another fun presentation to have. Dr. Moore, would you like to introduce?
Yes, this is one of my favorite board meetings of the year because this is our opportunity to honor our employees that have gone above and beyond. And so we have listed here that Dr. Mike Matthews is doing this recognition, but I understand. Do we have someone else here to do this recognition? Dr. Matthews?
I think we had the real person here to do the presentation.
Okay.
Direct from motherhood, I believe we have Dr. Melissa Gordon.
Dr. Gooden. It's a special surprise appearance tonight, and if any of you were fortunate to see baby Colin, he's absolutely Gorgeous.
He's on good behavior right now, so we're going to go
Yes.
quick.
Very
'Cause
good.
it might not last
Welcome,
very
Dr.
long.
Gooden. You look
Thank you,
great.
Dr.
I told him on the way here, I already, gave him my speech. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to be back tonight to recognize our Employees of the Year. I think it can go without saying that the last few years have been really challenging, so that makes it even more special to be able to recognize, a few people that have gone above and beyond and have been acknowledged by their colleagues as Employees of the Year. So I've asked each of the administrators to write up a little bit about their person that was selected from their school site. So I'm going to read those out loud. As I read them out loud, if I can have each person come up to be acknowledged, we have a plaque for them and also flowers. So we're going to start with El Segundo High School Teacher of the Year, and that's Miss Samantha Salama. Sam Salama joined the El Segundo High School faculty in the fall of 2016 as an English teacher. Prior to transitioning into teaching, Ms. Salama worked in the private sector. A graduate of UCLA, Ms. Salama also played lacrosse there. She has embraced new ways of connecting with students and engaging them in the classroom. She is known as an expert in technology and frequently has teachers coming to her for support and guidance. One teacher commented, "I can go to Sam for just about any tech question, and she not only answers my question, but gives me tips on how to make the technology even better for students learning and my teaching." Ms. Salama was instrumental in working to have our high school recognized as an Apple Distinguished Award. At this time, Coach Salama, she has guided our lacrosse team to flourish into the program that we have today. We're all very proud as Eagles to have Sam Salama recognized as Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Sam. And we'll get a picture at the end of everyone, okay? Perfect. Okay, our next El Segundo Middle School, we are recognizing Mr. Sean Brownlin. Steve, did you want to come get a picture with him also? Okay. Hey, you have a whole fan club here. I'm impressed. Innovative, engaging, risk taker. These are all words that describe Sean Brownlin's classroom. Sean is an 8th grade INS teacher and a TOSA at El Segundo Middle School. When people enter Sean's class, they see students excited and involved, not just with him presenting content, but with each other. It is a regular occurrence to see students debating issues of the past in Sean's class. Students in the class don't just use technology to present information, they use their technology to create videos, presentations, and music to show their learning. Sean has been instrumental in rolling out the Altitude Learning platform at El Segundo Middle School. Teachers, led by Sean, leverage the technology to expand learning experiences available to their classes. During distance learning, teachers and students would not have been able to carry on their learning without the guidance and support of Sean. Sean's ability to engage students in history and integrate technology in ways that students and teachers find engaging is why he is El Segundo Middle School's Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Sean. You deserve it. Okay. Okay, next from Center Street, we have Miss Kristen McCann. So Kristen is not here tonight, but Kristen is, I'll go ahead and just read. Ms. McCann believes in the power of the written word to instruct, inspire, and enrich the lives of all people, and in the primary role it plays in the success of all students. As a reading teacher, Ms. McCann provides the essential daily small group instruction in a caring and supportive environment. In addition to this, her support of professional development for her peers at our school has been integral to their transition to Readers and Writers Workshop. Okay, so I will give her award to the school, and they can present it to her tomorrow. Okay. Next, from Richmond Street School, we have Dr. Fong Yusuf. Okay. Dr. Yusuf has been Richmond Street School's engineering project lead the way STEM teacher for the past 7 years, leading thousands of scholars in the discovery and design cycles of engineering concepts for students in kindergarten through 5th grade. Dr. Yusuf has an unparalleled mastery and expertise of integration of science and engineering standards across 6 grade levels and implementation of effective and engaging instructional strategies to deliver content in a novel and transformational way. Dr. Yusuf embodies the school's vision statement of "We activate, transform, and empower at Richmond." Her curriculum, pedagogical approaches, and her ability to think vastly within and outside the standards make her stand out as an outstanding educator. She develops her units that connect deeply to real-world problems and challenges students to design solutions that are actionable, immediate, and impactful. She is extremely generous, gives others the benefits of the doubt, is perpetually solution-oriented, and humble. RSS is extremely fortunate to have Dr. Yusoff activating, transforming, and empowering the students and staff. Dr. Yusoff was recently named a 2022 California finalist for the Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. This program is administered by the National Science Foundation on behalf of the White House Office of Science and Technology. Dr. Yusoff is also our candidate for Teacher of the Year for LA County. So congratulations, Dr. Yusoff. Okay, and next we're going to do our classified employees of the year. So we're going to start with Miss Tiana Mosley from Eagle's Nest. Okay. So I've already put my name on the wait list for Miss Mosley's, Miss Ty's class here at Eagle's Nest. So I already have that spot saved. Miss Tiana Mosley, affectionately known as Miss Ty, started her time at Eagle's Nest back in 2016 as an instructional aide with Miss Lori Bowen. When Miss Lori left, Miss Ty was there to step up to the challenge and finish out the second half of the school year. She then applied for the open teaching position and was chosen out of a pool of well-qualified and experienced applicants. Since then, Miss Ty has run the partial day 4-year-old classroom at Eagle's Nest Preschool. During the 2021 COVID school year, Ms. Ty shared her talents with the Learning Connection before and after school childcare program. She was placed at Richmond Street School and supported a whole new grade level of students and families with the same high quality care and spirit she is known for. It is great pleasure that we celebrate this amazing person, woman, and teacher in our preschool program. Please join me in celebrating the great honor and recognition of our preschool teachers' caring heart, hard work, and loving spirit to all of the children and families who come under her care. We are so proud of her and fortunate to have her as part of our teaching team at Eagle's Nest in El Segundo Unified School District. Congratulations, Ms. Ty. Okay. So next we have Ms. Anna Reynolds. She's our Instructional Tech Support Services. Anna Reynolds is an incredibly talented and caring individual. She has been such a gift to our educational services team and school district since she began. Anna began with us almost 5 years ago in a relatively new position, our one and only Student Information Systems Specialist role. Upon joining our team, she has jumped in with both feet, learning about our systems, making them better, and helping everyone across the district whenever needed, which is very often, and I can say that also, on top of streamlining student data for all of our departments and school sites. Anna has a background in education and is a former teacher, but her understanding of systems and processes is on another whole level that none of us are on that level. It is quite rare to find an educator who also understands and cares about data so deeply. She has always approached any problem she finds with a positive disposition and can-do mentality. As a teacher at heart, Anna Reynolds always wants to help others understand how to access data and use it to improve their job. She is patient, collaborative, and a true cheerleader for all. We're so lucky to have such a talented and caring individual helping all of our departments and school sites. Thank you, Anna. Okay. Next, we have representing our janitors, maintenance, and facilities. That's Mr. Francisco Gonzalez from Richmond Street School, and he's unable to be here with us tonight. But Dr. Lee will take his award back to him. And finally, we have the most fabulous Miss Susie Flores for clerical support. So as you can tell, Susie is a celebrity here in our town. Susie Flores is El Segundo Middle School. Her kindness, sincerity, and laugh are infectious and permeate through the office. She is meticulous, and teachers and staff know they can rely on her, but they also know to get their period attendance in, or they will get a friendly call from her right away. Parents love her and know that she will stop whatever she's doing to assist or answer questions. She's regularly called on by secretaries and administrators across the district for support. During the pandemic, ESMS had an attendance rate of over 97%. If a student was not in their Zoom, Susie would immediately call the student's house, sometimes multiple times a day. Susie is not committed to just her attendance, but she's committed to student well-being. Susie has a talent for forming bonds with all students. When you enter the office of El Segundo Middle School, you'll frequently see her mentoring students. She has formed special bonds with our students with disabilities and allows some of them to work with her in the office. She's a true cheerleader and coach for all. Susie's a dedicated daughter, wife, mother, and grandmother. She regularly hosts family members from across the state at her house because they love to come down and hang out with her. Congratulations, Susie. You're an amazing person, and El Segundo Middle School would not be as great as it is without you. Also, I have to share that Susie was nominated as the El Segundo Unified School District Employee of the Year for LA County. Congratulations, Susie. Thank you. So if we can get everybody to come up for a picture now. Get everybody. Susie, stay up. Susie, stay. We're gonna. Let's do. Yeah, go behind. You guys go behind. Kristen McCann for the center. I know. I thought she told me she was going to be here also. We'll have you guys stand behind the board members. Jack, are you going to take the picture? Are you taking a picture? Okay, Jack's our resident. No, it's board members. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. My face hurts from smiling so much out of all those amazing things to say about these wonderful folks we are lucky to have here. You all don't have to stay. If you have other things to do this evening, we will not be offended if you go enjoy your evening. All right. Our next item on the agenda tonight, our final special presentation, is an Avid program presentation. Dr. Moore, would you like to introduce our special guests?
Yes, I'd like to call forward Mr. Ali Rabihi, acting principal, El Segundo High School, and his team, his fellow Eagle team, who will be joining him. Avid, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, is a hallmark program at El Segundo High School, and it really provides students with opportunities to be a bridge to success and head on to college. So welcome, Eagles.
Thank you, Dr. Moore, members of the board, audience, and those of us who are streaming online. El Segundo High School has many great programs, but we have one program that's been at El Segundo High for more than 10 years, and that is our Avid program. It has impacted thousands of students throughout the years. It is really the flagship program that promotes college and career readiness. Here with me tonight, we have an amazing Avid team comprised of our Avid coordinator and 2 students, as well as a teacher. So I'm going to turn it over to our amazing Avid coordinator, Miss Branca Savage.
Thank you, Mr. Rabi'i. Hello. It's so nice to be here. It's been over 2 years. I was going through my data, and 2018-19 was the last time we presented, so it's nice to be here. Our mission in Avid is to close the achievement gap by preparing all students for college and career readiness in a global society. So even though our students apply for this program in 8th grade, they're interviewed, the vision for Avid is to spread it school-wide. We call it Avid Love. So that's always our goal, is to spread it school-wide and to help all our students. And just a quick snapshot of what an Avid student looks like. They don't necessarily meet all of these bullets, but they're usually in the academic middle, so between a 2.5, 3.5 GPA. They may be the first family to attend college. They are historically sometimes underrepresented in colleges. They have special circumstances or unique personal backgrounds. They all have a potential to succeed, however, in higher level courses. And the most important one, I think, is that they have a desire to do better. They have a desire to grow and to learn. And I think if we've learned anything about our Avid students, really all our students, during the pandemic is grit. They have grit, and they survived it. That was a nightmare, but I don't need to preach to the choir. So our curriculum basically is acronym WICR, and what we do is focus on all of these things kind of simultaneously, and it focuses on writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. And then we share certain Avid strategies with teachers during some of our PDs. And just a quick little snapshot of some of the things that are still happening at the high school. Our 6 and 12-week grade analysis, so students reflect every 6 and 12 weeks. That might have been a bit spotty during the pandemic, but that's okay. Socratic seminars, philosophical chairs, mind mapping, and collaborative analysis. Those are just some of the things that have kind of spread throughout the school during Avid's existence, which started in 2006. And now we have a little video, a little message from our students. I'm not sure who's doing the video. There we go.
We would like to personally thank our tutors for always helping us through our TRFs and when we were struggling in our classes.
I really enjoy the volunteer work and volunteering to help our community and the experience of volunteering.
My favorite thing about Avid is that we all get to work together and collaborate and overcome our struggles together.
My favorite thing about Avid is the tutors. They honestly really warm my heart, and it makes me feel so important that I get to work with tutors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Avid TRF programs and overall support has really helped me significantly improve my grades since last year, and the TRF program has really helped me become a leader and be proactive in my learning.
This has really helped me organize my day. Being in a zero period, school pathways, and on swim, I really find it hard to keep everything in line, but she's really helped me to keep everything organized and having time for myself in the day without being too stressed.
I'd say that our biggest Avid highlight was when we received the Valentine's Day notes. I think it's really important to spread kindness and be thoughtful towards one another. And I truly believe that when we create a stronger environment in the class, we have the opportunity to grow.
Hi, my name's Haley Kincaid. I'm an Avid 11 student. So I've been an Avid for the past 3 years, and one of my favorite parts about Avid is the college and career prep that we get. So we have a lot of trips, we have a lot of colleges and post-high school programs come and visit us at Avid to come and talk about what they have to offer. One of my favorite ones that we've done was the college trip to San Diego. It was a 2-day trip to San Diego and Irvine, and we visited 4 different colleges. We got tours of the campuses, we got to talk to students who were there, and we got to talk to ESHS alumni who are currently at the college. We got to hear about
Thank you. So this is my favorite part of the year, where we get to highlight some senior successes and to see the growth. And it's extra special for me because this specific class was my Avid 9 class, and then I switched roles, and so I had to hand them off to Miss Summers, sadly, but they were lucky to get Miss Summers. And so I just want to highlight some data with what they've succeeded in over their course of 4 years here at the high school. So they have collectively taken 61 honors classes. They have taken 47 AP classes. 9 students have 2 or more pathways. They earned over, I can't see, excuse me, $793,000 in scholarships. They collectively have served 3,200 hours of community service, and they applied to 253 colleges. I think we should give them a round of applause. Well done. So just a little data. Obviously, the data looks different this year than it did a couple years ago. So school-wide, the percentage of students who completed at least one AP or honors course is 53%, and for Avid, it was at 40%. So one of our goals, obviously, will be closing that gap as we continue to work with our students and with our teachers. And the percentage of students who took at least one AP or Project Lead the Way exam, school-wide, was 31%, and then Avid was at 7%. And of course, those numbers were higher prior to the pandemic, but our work is cut out for us, and we're ready to work. The percentage of students who took at least one AP exam and scored at least a 3 or higher on an equivalent test or a C or better in the Project Lead the Way exam, school-wide is 26%, and that was 340 students. And in Avid, it was at 5%, and that was a total of 6 students out of 123. We have 123 Avid students. Attendance, again, we always, our attendance is always a little bit better in Avid. School-wide, it was at 94%, and Avid, it was 96%. So we're proud of that. Now, I don't have a slide for this because I let our wonderful Anna Reynolds, good, she didn't leave yet. Thank you, Anna, for the data. You are the best. We had a piece of data that we shared back in 2018, 2019 with you. Students who earned a C- or better in their core classes, school-wide was at 68%, and this year it's at 79%, and for Avid it was 60%, but last year, 2021 school year, it was 83%. So, good job, Avid. Well done. So our focus for next year is going to be continuing to incorporate Avid strategies in all our subjects with all our teachers, particularly, though, focusing on note-taking and reflection. That leads us into higher level questions and things like that. So going back to basics, we feel like will best support them at this point. We will, of course, continue ruler and social emotional activities and strategies, focusing on college and career, including the college fair, which will be coming back next year, and then, of course, all our Avid activities and college tours that we get to go on now. And now this is the best part. I would like to introduce Kana Hoytit. She's currently an Avid 12 student in Ms. Summers' class, and then following her, she's going to share her experience, and then following her will be Aiden Pagel. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hi, as Ms. Savage said, my name is Kana Hoytit, and I'm currently a senior at El Segundo High School. I'm honored and pleasured to speak on behalf of Avid tonight. 4 years of high school is no easy task, but Avid managed to make the process smooth and easy. When I was a freshman, I was scared and excited for what challenges I would face, from maintaining good grades, balancing extracurriculars, and always thinking of the future and which college it would lead me to. If I'm going to be completely honest, when I first joined Avid, my brain couldn't comprehend how TRFs and other assignments would help me get into a 4-year university. But looking back now, it is easy to say, after all those tedious points of confusion, community service hours, and help from the wonderful Avid staff, that it has taught me many things. Each assignment and task gave me something I might not have learned without Avid. Time management, organization, study skills, giving back, self-confidence, leadership, and so much more. I'm so grateful for this program, and it has helped shape me into the person and strong leader I am today. When I started my journey in Avid, my time management was awful. But Avid helped me realize that sometimes taking a little time away from my phone or device could help me thrive so much more in school. It showed me that writing each assignment in my planner could help me manage when to do each assignment and to check off the things to feel that sense of reward, checking that thing off your planner, only one more, and then. These skills, tips, and tricks have not only helped me in school, but outside of school, in cheer, choir, drama, and so much more. Now, thanks to Avid, I will be attending Cal State Fullerton this fall. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aiden Pagel. As mentioned, I am a senior at El Segundo High School and a 4-year Avid student. I'm excited to be here today to talk about my Avid experience. When I was in 8th grade, my mom suggested I apply for the Avid program in high school. My cousin was in it years ago, and she said it helped her to stay on track with studying, organizing work, and being prepared to navigate the complicated college application process. Now, I really didn't understand what Avid was at the time, but it sounded like a good idea. Meanwhile, I was working on a goal of my own. I wanted to play football, as I was a big guy, and I actually thought I could do good in that sport. However, my parents wouldn't let me play when I was younger, and said if I still wanted to play by high school, they would let me. So, the day after 8th grade graduation, I told my parents I signed up for football, and I start Monday. Finally played, and I loved it. I knew I wanted to play it in college, but it was kind of a dream at that point. Now, first 2 years of Avid were kind of tough. I had to learn how to organize assignments, due dates, projects, and all the things. And the TRFs, we had TRFs twice a week, and it was actually a lot of work. At this time, I wasn't sure if I wanted to, or even if I would be able to get into a four-year college. But through the Avid process of daily work and discovery, not only did I want to experience a four-year college, I was gaining the tools to make it happen. And over time, doing daily work, having daily support, and creating a forward motion, I started to see I could make my dreams happen. Without Avid, I wouldn't have been able to understand any of the college admission procedures or essays. And with Avid, all the things we've been doing this whole time, the brag sheets, the essays, letters of rec, all of these were preparation for the college process. All of us had our college apps done by Thanksgiving. Our acceptance letters came quickly. I actually did not get one letter of rejection. I got acceptance letters from Harding University, Wingate, Colorado State, Texas State A&M, Western Oregon, Willamette University, Laverne University, Oklahoma State, and Redlands, to name a few. And I was recruited to play football. I'm going to be playing football at Willamette University in Salem, Oregon, and get an amazing education that I am so excited about. I'm actually going to be pursuing my dreams this fall. I'm so thankful to Ms. Summers and Ms. Savage for all their incredible help and support, and I hope to make you proud this fall. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great evening.
As you can see, we have an amazing team of students and Ms. Savage for the detailed presentation this evening and the accolades that our Avid program brings. Avid, our flagship program for college and career readiness at El Segundo High School, goes hand in hand with our graduate profile. The two just work symbiotically. And also, about 16 years ago, we'd be remiss not to acknowledge the El Segundo Ed Foundation for helping us launch the Avid program here at El Segundo High School. So we're available for any questions you have at this time. Thank you.
Great. Thank you all for being here. It's so exciting, especially these are the kids that I got to know when they were kindergartners, and amazing that here you are now and off, ready to fly off into the world. And so grateful that Avid was there to help be that launching pad. Board members, any comments or questions you'd like to share with the group?
Yes, I don't have a question, but I do want to say I am incredibly proud of our Avid program. The support, the reinforcement, and most importantly, the confidence that is invested in each child, I think makes a difference. And, you know, the investment that each Avid teacher and the coordinator makes is incredible. And I'm extremely thankful, and again, just very proud that we have the program here and that we continue this legacy within our school district.
I ditto that. Very proud. And I remember the people who started this program back in, what, 06? Yeah, and when it started, it was really something.
I just want to, is it Kana? I completely agree that I love checking things off my list. And you know, I think I had a son go through Avid. I had a daughter tutor, and I know there's so many ways that Avid, it's not just Avid students, you know, having the tutoring, having all that, and seeing you guys come up and present. You know, you guys look like your teachers up there giving us a report. So thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.
I wish you guys well in the last, 4 weeks? Is it about 4 weeks of school I've been hearing? But I appreciate you. I don't think what people understand, Avid takes extra work. I think a lot of kids, when they sign up for Avid, think that they're just going to get some like free tutoring and a free period. Avid is a program, and I think it is work. It is like there is assignments, and as you guys eloquently said tonight, it really does prepare you for college. And having my son go through college and a part of our Avid program, it really does. So stay with it. Keep checking those things off the list. And to our teachers, it is amazing. The data that we had presented is such an amazing numbers that it's hard to argue. On my first couple of years on the board, there was some naysayers of Avid and why are we doing this and extra funding and having these students up here. That is why we do this. So thank you, and thank you to many of our Avid teachers that continue on, and there continues to be a new flow also, but I would love to see some data from 06 on what Avid completely, like how many of the whole years, how many have gone to colleges and career technical too. I really sometimes get sick of just college. I'm grateful for college, but I think it transitions to a lot of career technical and other aspects also. So thank you students. I know coming and talking before us is kind of like what did you want when your teachers asked you, but it really helps us when we are making decisions. So thank you.
Being able to spend the last 4 years with Aiden's been amazing. Watching him work his academics in regards to, being a student athlete in that sense. And I'm just really proud and wish you all the luck in football. Proud moment for me, just really glad. And it was great seeing the picture a couple of weeks ago with you palming that ball in your uniform. So really excited for you, and really grateful to the Avid program. Again, we are pushing a college prep agenda and ideology across our campuses, and every student deserves the opportunity, and having this program gives those students that opportunity that may not have the historical background in education with their parents, and those first-time students that are experiencing this, to have those opportunities to look for those colleges and be a part of that system and educational process. So just very grateful for it, and thank you for the continued success. And make sure I get a schedule for next year, okay? All right.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming, and wishing you all the best for the rest of the school year and beyond. We will hope you'll keep us posted on your continued success out there. To you guys who came tonight, brave enough to be here, and to all your fellow Avid students, we're excited to see where you go. So thank you. And you don't have to stay either. You can go carry on with your evening. It's okay.
Go celebrate.
Yes, go enjoy a nice dinner together. All right. Now we move into the consent agenda this evening. Are there any polls for the consent agenda tonight? I don't think there are, so if I could ask for a motion of approval.
I'll move approval of items A through L.
Second.
All right, any discussion on any of these items?
I see summer camps, and it's exciting to be approving involvement things.
Things to do in person. How exciting.
In-person stuff.
Exciting. All right, well, if no other comments, let's vote. Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Action item time. Item A, acceptance of gifts. Clerk Caudill, if you'd like to read that out.
I would. In accordance with the board policy. Sorry. In accordance with Board of Education Policy number 3290, the Board of Education may accept gifts as long as there is no conflict with the Education Code or other public laws. The school district has received generous donations from the El Segundo PTSA in the amount of $2,024.66 to be utilized at the middle school, and from Kroger, $896.05 to be used at the middle school. Also, Reyes Coca-Cola bottling, $21.49, everything counts, to be used at El Segundo Middle School. And lastly, El Segundo Middle School PTSA also donated $539.52 to be used at the middle school. They hit the jackpot this week. These donations do not conflict with any education code or public laws regarding acceptance of gift. I move approval.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on this item? All right, let's vote. Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item B is approval of amendment to MOU between City of El Segundo and ESUSD Library Services. Dr. Moore?
Yes, the City of El Segundo and the district are taking a look at some of our joint agreements and in the process of negotiating new joint agreements in a couple of areas. I appreciate the city as they brought to my attention that the current library services MOU indicates a number of people, and it really should be the number of hours. So this more accurately reflects the current agreement and the way we are utilizing their library personnel in our libraries, and so I recommend approval.
All right, do we have a motion for approval?
Move to approve action item 4B.
Second. All right, any discussion on this item? Oh, we like our libraries and our librarians that help us in them, so let's see if we vote on that. Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item C, approval of resolution number 15, 2021-22, Mental Health Awareness Month. Dr. Moore?
Yes, as the staff stays the course on the board's goals for the future, as we look at Goal 2, promoting social and emotional well-being of all students, we want to make note of this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and the district continues to strive to fill those needs and provide supplemental services when needed for our students who have issues with mental health. So it's always good to be sure that we pass resolutions such as this to continue to raise the awareness amongst our community that there are real issues, and through the pandemic, many of our youth have suffered and our families have suffered, and we need to continue to provide bridge services. I recommend approval.
Okay, Clerk Caudill, would you like to read the therefore portion?
Therefore, no whereas?
Yeah, no, I think you can skip to the therefore part.
Okay. Now, therefore, be it resolved that that the El Segundo Unified School District thereby recognizes May as Mental Health Awareness Month and May 9 through 13 as Student Mental Health Awareness Week. Adopted this 10th day of May, 2022, by the El Segundo Unified Board of Education.
Assuming we move on that, yes. Let's take a motion. It's okay. You're previewing. We have a motion for approval.
Move to approve action item 4C.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on this item?
Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. You know, I'm happy that as a district, we are moving forward and having these conversations out loud. I think by raising this awareness, we remove the stigma. And mental illness, mental health, it is just like any other illness, anything that anyone suffers from. So the fact that we are openly coming together, being united, honoring the month and pulling out a week, and just having these conversations opens up the dialogue for anyone who previously did not feel comfortable acknowledging that they were suffering. And I appreciate that. I hope that this comes more from just the table here, the floor here, but it goes into our homes, and we really support our kids, especially coming out of the past 2 years. So I'm excited.
Well, that's it. If you've people watch the news lately, there's been some shockers, going through the college community, even of students that otherwise no one had any idea and seemed, and some just tragic things that are happening. And as Diana said, if someone's on crutches, everybody helps them out, takes it and does things. If someone has a broken arm, this or that, but there is a stigma, and it's no different. And I think the more we talk about it, the more there are resources, our partnerships, people can go on the website. There's links, there's family links, there's individual links. I just really hope people take advantage of the resources. But what we've got to remember is they need a community. When someone is in this, it's hard to recognize, and sometimes there aren't the signs. And so the more ways that we can get it out there, it is so incredibly pertinent, because, once it's too late, it's too late. So I'm excited to see this. Hopefully schools, and we can really bring it down to a class level.
And I'd like to add that I'm really appreciative of the ruler program. I think that feeds right into this whole idea of supporting kids' mental health. And start early, be able to identify the feelings, identify your emotions, and then go from there. So congratulations to us and to Jack for bringing this program here.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really glad that this is something that's being brought forward. I think that there's a handful of students that do struggle at the high school, but before I think they kind of struggled in silence. So I really hope that this allows them to feel like they are welcomed to talk about problems that they may face, and that they're not alone with their problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the speaking about it, bringing it together, and having everybody from the beginning here in our schools, from kindergarten up, well, gosh, even preschool up now. We've got ruler in there as well, and I really, the sooner we're all aware and can express ourselves and find that community, absolutely, but also to find the professional resources that we can bring together, like we're doing, so important. I do have a number of friends and family that have had some challenges, pandemic related and not, and these services are vital, absolutely vital. So anything we can continue to do to push them out and provide them, I think that's amazing, and we should. And with that, I think we should vote. So, Jack, your advisory vote.
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item D, approval of Resolution 16, 2021-2022 Certificated School Employee Week.
Yes, as we honored 4 of our teachers this evening, last week was our teacher appreciation, and actually it was also involving other employees as well, but our PTAs, our parents, our students, our community really stepped up to honor our staff. We're also privileged to have our ESTA leadership here this evening to consider this resolution. And so we are very fortunate in our district that we have a very talented educator workforce. And I think people come here to teach. There is a lot of collaboration amongst our teachers. Our teachers are empowered as professionals to really work within their content in their curriculum and really do a quality job. So we are very fortunate and blessed to have wonderful teachers in our district, and I recommend approval enthusiastically this evening.
And Clerk Caudill, would you like to read the therefore resolved sections of this as well?
I would. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the El Segundo Unified School District Board of Education wishes to honor and thank teachers for their diligence and dedicated efforts to ensure all children have a quality education. Be it further resolved, that one too? Okay. That the El Segundo Unified District of Education encourages all communities to join together to honor certificated school employees in the El Segundo Unified School District this year to be from May 2nd to 6th, 2022.
Okay, thank you for that. And if I could have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Great. Any discussion on this item? I saw some amazing Teacher Appreciation Week and staff appreciation going on last week. So I want to give a shout out to the PTAs, especially who drive that, and to all the families that showed their love. But honestly, that love is all year long. Like, we appreciate the teachers and staff all year long, but I think there were some extra calories thrown in last week in regard to this. I saw some photographic proof of that. All right.
As a teacher, I was jealous, just to tell you the truth. So from all the items I saw and all the parts I was able to witness. So I think it goes without saying is that, as teachers, they are the profession that impacts every other one's profession. And so I'm just really grateful for the community to step up. And I know, some teachers missed out, and our PTAs are stepping up to even do some extra for them, to make sure that they know how much they're appreciated. So thank you very much, teachers.
Yeah. All right, well, let's give a vote on this to add further appreciation. Jack, your advisory vote.
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Of course, none. The motion carries 5-0. All right, now we move into public hearing time. So at this time, item E, I'll read out. The public hearing is on the board adoption of the tentative agreement between the El Segundo Unified School District and the El Segundo Teachers Association for the 2021-22 and 2022-23 fiscal years. I'm opening the public hearing at 6:51 p.m. If anyone wishes to approach the podium to speak, now would be the time to do so. The room is silent, so that to me says no one is approaching to speak at this time. So at 6:52 p.m., I will close the public hearing and move now into item F, approval of the tentative agreement between ESUSD and ESTA for the 2021-22 and 2022-23 fiscal years. Dr. Moore?
Yes, I'd like to acknowledge the hard work of the El Segundo Teachers Association bargaining team, along with Dr. Melissa Gooden and Dr. Mike Matthews and the ESUSD bargaining teams. These agreements are not arrived at lightly. There is a lot of listening, there is a lot of dialogue, there is a lot of troubleshooting, and to be able to come forward with a 2-year agreement is really something special for our school district. And I think it really demonstrates the collaborative nature and relationship that we have working with our employees. So I congratulate everyone. Ms. Nodar, the ESTA president, indicated that ESTA has overwhelmingly ratified this. And so now it is your turn, board. Recommend approval.
Excellent. Motion for approval?
Recommend to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion from the board on this item?
Other than it's well-deserved, and I really appreciate the good faith negotiations between ESTA, the cabinet members that were involved in doing all the crunching of the numbers. These have long-term effects on our district, but what's fair is fair, and our teachers worked really hard in keeping our district together and educating our children through these most difficult times. And so it's well-deserved. And I'm really, as a teacher, I think, again, I'm jealous that, it's this easy here for us in this district. And we really recognize our teachers, that they are the backbone of our district, and at the ground level all the time, making sure it happens for our kids. And so just very grateful for them, and hopefully this reflects that.
I don't know if people watch governor proposal budgets and things, and California is really doing well if you start looking at those things. And I really hope that we continue to advocate, especially as districts that don't receive a lot of extra grants, to get we've got a lot of one-time fundings lately that have been able to backfill certain areas, and by all means, when we have those, I love passing it along to our unions and our groups, because they are what make El Segundo kids successful. I just worry that sometimes, we go through these cycles, and I've been on the board long enough to see the cycles go. And I just really hope, Governor Newsom and whoever as that is coming up, that they look at the budgets and where California is at and keep passing that money down so it can get to the people that really deserve it. Because as a board member, I would give way more, but those are hard decisions when you're looking at textbooks and roofs and all types of things. And it was really great this year to be able to do that. And I hope every teacher knows how much they're appreciated. And the union, we don't sit in the negotiations, but we always come and we always hear back, their willingness, and their listening and really looking at the numbers. So please know that we do get those reports back on how bargaining is going. And thank you for looking at these 2 years, because the more we can do 2 years and things, it kind of takes a breath off of future things, so where you guys can teach and our administrators can do what they do, because COVID has been just an interesting thing. So I'm grateful for this, but I really worry that that cycle is going to turn soon. So I hope we continue to advocate, and that's why I really hope people understand we don't get to decide new revenue as a board, and that's a shame. But it's really frustrating when I watch where California is on income and things, and they're overflowing budget, so they need to step it up so we could give even more.
All right. If no further discussion at this time, let's vote. Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries 5-0. All right, our next item, another public hearing and comment period on the ESUSD proposal for tentative agreement between El Segundo Unified School District and non-represented employees, confidential TLC, playground supervisors, classified walk-on coaches, classified management, certificated management, and superintendent for the 2021-22 and 2022-23 fiscal years. Opening the hearing at 6:57 p.m. Would anyone like to speak to this item? If so, please approach our lovely podium. Again, the room is silent, but wait a minute in case someone has thoughts. We'll wait until the clock changes so that there's an actual minute on the calendar here, on the minutes that Ms. Adams is taking. So enjoy your moment to think about that. Oh, it is 6:58 p.m. Look at that. I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing period. Thank you. And we'll move into item H. Approval of the tentative agreement between the El Segundo Unified School District and the non-represented employees, in parentheses, I'm not going to read again, for the 2021, 2022, and 2022-23 fiscal years. Do we have Dr. Moore, anything you'd like to say?
I just wanted to add, this is for our unrepresented employees, which are not represented by either our ESTA or our CSEA, and we are still working with CSEA on active negotiations, so we look forward to bringing that to conclusion swiftly, and we'll be providing you an update in closed session.
All right, motion for approval.
Motion to approve, item H.
We'll give that one to Paulette this time. Okay. All right, any discussion on this item, board members?
It's the same thing. This is, these are employees in our district that they come in, they work hourly, they work really tough jobs and support roles. They're oftentimes overlooked and not seen because they're in the back doing the tough work. And so just very grateful that this is something that, as a matter of course, and it goes for our cabinet too, because it includes our admin at the highest level. And these are tough jobs. And so just very grateful that we can do this as a part of our annual. It usually falls along with what our faculty and our teachers are negotiating. And so everybody deserves to have a fair wage for what they do, and I'm grateful because I know a lot of coaches out there that come and serve these kids many, many hours. You know, it's pennies on the dollar when you look at the actual hours versus the time they're out there. And so just grateful for that, these employees, and that we can do this for our district.
All right, any other comments? All right, we'll move into voting then, if no further. Nope. Okay. Jack, your advisory vote.
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, next, here we are. Another public hearing of the El Segundo Unified School District related to Resolution 14, 2021-22, approving to adjust statutory school facility fees imposed on new residential and commercial/industrial construction pursuant to Education Code Section 17620 and Government Code Section 65995. The hearing is open as of 7:00 p.m. Once again, I invite anyone who wants to come to the podium to please join us up here and speak your mind on this topic. Seeing none and hearing no movement, I shall close the public hearing at 7:01 p.m. And now, item J, approval of resolution number 14, 2021-22, to increase statutory school fees imposed on new residential and commercial industrial development projects pursuant to California Education Code 17620. Dr. Moore, would you like to add anything?
Yes, I would. I think many times people look around El Segundo and the city and see a lot of development going on, but that development is on the other side of Pacific Coast Highway. This applies only to the boundaries of El Segundo Unified School District, which, as we all know, is a very small residential area primarily. So what this resolution allows the board to do is to raise the fee to the statutory amount, which is the board performing their due diligence as stewards of public funds to get what we can when the opportunity presents itself, which is very rare. So this would impact commercial industrial development moving forward, and we would be aligned with the state level. I recommend approval.
Okay, and although this is a resolution, Clerk Caudill, I'm not going to ask you to read 21 sections of policy, but it is posted for everyone to read if you haven't already read it, as we already did up here. So with that, I will ask for a motion for approval.
So moved.
I'll second.
You want a second?
I'll
Okay,
second.
great. Any discussion on this item from anyone? Other than yes, let's keep up with what the state allows us to collect in these fees, because we use it here to benefit this community and such people that are coming into it and building in these manners. So, seeing or hearing no other interest in discussion, we shall vote. Jack, your advisory vote.
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries 5-0. Item K, approval of proposed board policy and administrative regulation updates, the 4000s.
Item K and L were proposed board policies and administrative regulations that have been updated in alignment with recommendations from the California School Boards Association and regulations. And they were previewed at the April 26th board meeting. I did not receive any comments or concerns from any member of the community. I recommend approval.
All right, motion for approval.
Move to approve action item 4K.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on this item? Seeing no motion as such, we will vote. Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries 5-0. And item L is approval of proposed board policy, the 6000s. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on item L? All right, let's vote. Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item M, approval to enter into agreement with EKC Enterprises, Inc. for the purchase and installation of interactive technology and speakers.
This particular item is specific to the science and band multipurpose classrooms at El Segundo Middle School under Measure ES. And so this would provide the technology portion of the program.
Okay, motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this item?
Thank you, Measure ES.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm excited.
Thank you,
I'm
Measure
excited
ES.
every time we see a new Measure ES thing coming up. And thank you to Danny and team for helping figure this out with the middle school. Woohoo! New sound.
You know, and I really look forward to, I mean, my kids didn't get to enjoy this, and we went to performances where it echoed, and the lunch, and I am really excited to be able to redo that room and hopefully make it acoustically performance ready. You know, it's been great through the years, but I am excited to. I'll have to go catch some middle school performances because it'll be different. I think we have had a truly multi-purpose room for many years, and now we can just go to multi and not and everything. So when we see these big money numbers and dollars, this just isn't possible without Measure ES. We could have never been able to do these things. So thank you, community.
Indeed. All right, any further comments? Well, let's vote. Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item N, approval to enter into agreement with NIC Partners, Inc. for purchase and installation of cameras and wireless access points.
Nothing to add.
Motion for approval?
Motion to approve item N.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this item? Other than thank you, Danny and team, for your continued upgrades of all these things when Measure ES makes this possible. All right, Jack, your advisory vote?
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item O, approval of contract change order 1 to the agreement with RT Contractors Corporation for the 22003 Center Street drop-off lane project.
So although this is a contract change, we still came in well under budget. So I was hoping that everybody would just say, great job. So I recommend approval. This project came out so beautifully, and it's just a tremendous success. And the soil gods were with us because I think that extra money was really going to address soils issues, and we were very, very fortunate. So what a lovely contribution to the community, that drop-off zone.
Motion to approve item O.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on this item?
It's great when it says under budget.
Yep, under budget. We like under budget. And yes, I regularly walk dogs by the front of Center Street, and I see people enjoying it at all hours of the day. I mean, it's a beautiful space. So I hope that the Cougar community and beyond continues to enjoy this, no matter what this costs. But this is still way under budget. So.
And that's why I feel like I am the pusher on the money and change order. So I will.
When we
give
hear change
credit
order,
here.
I expect Emily to be cringing.
I
over
will
here.
be cringing, but no. When I looked at it and to only go this over on such a budget and to be on time, that truly is it's a special. And we thank Preety all the time and those contractors. That is a hard task to take the front of community center, school, a high traffic flow area, and to stay on budget. We even had some rains in that time, and there was a lot going on. So I am extremely happy.
One of the things that did bring up the cost was the meandering path, but the board weighed in on that.
Yep.
And it came out so beautiful. And then it's really just that profile piece, and it's kind of become the real face of Center Street with the lettering and all of that. So
Even just
well worth it.
The areas for people to congregate are just very well thought out. And as Tracy said, I drive by often too, and it is being well used. It used to be a bustling chaos kind of place, but there are enough spaces. And as I reported at the Center Street meeting, you know, it's unless you really remember what it used to be, you don't appreciate it because it is so, it looks natural and it looks like it should have always been that way. And so I think people are already forgetting. I had someone say something like, what did they really do? And I was like, oh my goodness, how easily we forget once something becomes...
All you gotta do is mention trash cans. They hid the trash cans. We used to be able to see the trash cans out there, and then we can't see the trash cans right now. So.
But anyway, I looked through the change orders, and to come in that under budget is impressive. Let's keep up the good work.
Yeah, I'm going to thank the soil gods on this one for sure, because that is always our extra bonus right there. Okay, anything else?
So yes, it did come in under budget, but I think one thing that I love whenever I pass by is the beautiful accident, and that is in putting in the path. We have that great statement piece. Every time I pass by, I look at that wall that has Center Street, and in my mind and heart, it's always been there, but it wasn't. It should have always been there, and it's just a great statement piece for the school to see that, and then to see that cougar. To me, it just is, it's beautiful.
All right, well, let's vote on paying for more of that beauty. So, Jack, your advisory vote.
Aye.
And board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, moving into information pending action. Item A is a preview of the Eagles Nest Preschool Comprehensive School Safety Plans for 2021-22.
Yeah, I will deal with both item A and B. These items are here for the public to see. We have our Eagles Nest School Safety Plan that I believe Member Lane brought up. So that's brought before you this evening and will be brought back for action at the next board meeting. And then we have a preview of board policy in the 5,000 and 6,000. So we'll bring those back for the next meeting.
Okay, great. And you want to just keep rolling with the informational calendar next?
Calendar. We have, of course, the Ed Gala on Friday. So if you did not get your ticket, it is the must-attend event of the year. So please be sure to be there. We have many PTA installations coming up. So we have the council on Monday the 16th. We have the middle school on the 17th. We've got Eagles Nest PTO on the 17th. We have CSS installation on the 25th. We have an ESTA Fiesta on the 20th. And then we start getting into senior activities, and please be sure to let the high school know that you'll be attending some of those activities as well. I believe Ms. Thompson at the high school sent something out to all of you.
Yes, getting to our exciting time of year. All right, also posted, item 6B is the financial statements of the high school ESB for anyone who would like to see them. They are there for your viewing pleasure and transparency. All right, board members, time for your reports. We will start with Member Lane.
Yep, I went to Center Street's PTA meeting last week. You know, sometimes as a board member, you sit there and you think, why am I here? I don't have a Center Street kid. Why am I here? And then in the meeting, all of a sudden they said, Emily, we have something for you. I was like, all right, I'm here, I'm ready. You know, there's a problem with the lunch menu, just being able to navigate the lunch menu easy. And I said, I got this. And, you know, and I checked and it's been fixed. So to all of our parents, I went on and the calendar is right there per school. Instead, it was a weird link, but, you know, I appreciate those are what those meetings are for. You know, it came up, a parent just asked, like, I have a hard time getting to it. So I hope the community knows that if there ever is something just like that, you're probably not the only parent. Let us know. We're happy to fix things. Don't just, and that's what I told them there. I said, I really appreciate just letting me know instead of getting on a parents network or something and putting it out there. I said, just call us and we'll get it, you know, looked at. So thank you. I sent a text that night to Dr. Moore, like, hey, before I forget. And, you know, it's just nice to see that we can do those things. So I encourage all parents, when you have something, please just talk to a board member so we can get the right people involved. as silly as even a lunch menu link on the website is. That's what we're here for. But at PTA at Center Street, you know, they're busy. That we did the they're filling positions and it's going well, and they're talking installation, and it is just a busy promotion time, and the talent show is going on at Center Street. So it's just busy for our parents, and I thank them. And even we all started our evening earlier today over at the PTA Honorary Service, and you know, I just don't think I haven't been to other communities. You know, we've always been at El Segundo, but when I watch the countless hours that many parents give in service, you know, we talked about the teacher appreciation last week, and then they were there doing a service tonight, honorary service, and recognizing people. I just, and a lot of the, you know, some of us got to stand on the stage and be thanked, but there are so many people in this community that aren't on the stage and do things in the back quietly, and I just hope somehow they get appreciated. And I hope when we see people doing stuff, we appreciate them, because that is what makes El Segundo. And so I thank everyone for those countless hours. I hope people are aware, and I can't remember who's middle school, and I hope I don't take your thunder, but that gym is really coming along. I know it's not really my purview to talk about, but I drive that a lot. And I hope the community, I love the time lapse that we have that comes up every once in a while. And I hope people take advantage of some of those things and watch it, because it is a massive construction project going on. It isn't just a little remodel or things that we're doing there. So just really thank the community. It is exciting to see those types of projects coming to life. And pretty quickly, you know, the underground, the dirt, it doesn't look like anything, but once that concrete gets poured, we're going to start seeing some walls, and it'll look different quickly. So I'm excited.
All righty. Just as Emily said, the gym is moving along. Cheryl Smith, thank you very much for all your volunteerism and keeping me up to date for the middle school. And our new installation will be May 17th, as Dr. Moore mentioned, at 6:30. And so I'll be there to represent the board for our district, and looking forward to Sheila Miller Nelson will be the new president there. So good hands that are taking over. And thank you to all the middle school families, teachers, and everyone that supported the PTA for Run for Education. And thank you to Linda Steele and Alexandra Aruz, the ESMS PTSA Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week co-chairs. So I think the middle school rocked it when the appreciation items were, out of this world. So, and thank you to everyone for their generosity to, and all the volunteers, all the families that donated, and everyone that put forth effort in celebrating our teachers and the sponsors. Thank you very much for all that you did. And then this year, the middle school will be honoring 5 recipients, senior recipients, who will receive $1,000 scholarship checks to be applied towards their future educational endeavors. And so we'll be providing those at the scholarship honor, there's award ceremony thing.
Senior night.
Senior night.
Award night.
Senior award night. I've been there plenty of times, just couldn't remember the name of it right now. Senior moment, yeah. And then 8th grade promotion will be June 10th at the middle school. And so we're looking to support that and finish off the year. So thank you, everyone.
I don't know what is with me and the speaker tonight. Yeah, well, this is Battle of the Wills. Okay. The Run for Education, PTA-sponsored Run for Education was the last day of April, May, no, yes. Yeah. And I finished that out. Oh, fun thing. I got to hold up the ribbon Yeah, for the 5K, for the winners, the women and the men. What a kick. That was fun. Had a fun time at that Run for Education. Everybody worked really hard, and it's just amazing. I'm absolutely amazed. I've never been that close to that action. We've always walked or been out in the field, so that was amazing. Also, high school PTA meeting, I went to that, and they're winding down for the year and preparing for next year with their installations and so forth. I also went to the high school play, Chicago, on Saturday, and wow. I mean, it's not like any high school play I remember. They did an amazing job, and it's sensational. Dancing was really well done, and I enjoyed it. And I also went to the middle school play, Employees Must Wash Hands Before Murder. That was yeah, very clever. And that was the beginning of clever, because it was a whole night, and it was only 45 minutes, I think. I was out of there, and no time, it was still daylight. I don't know what the heck happened. But it was really a fun, had clever lines and stuff that older people would understand, because there was references to history and older days. I really enjoyed that too. I enjoyed that very much. And the kids seemed to enjoy it. That was a kick, watching them all. And I was going home, and there was a couple kids walking behind me, and they were talking about the play. And that was amazing, because they were analyzing it. And, like we've learned to do. It was really, I was impressed. And good job, everybody.
Excellent. All right. So as we talked about in action item C, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And this week, May 9th through May 13th, is Student Mental Health Week. And, I challenge everyone to one thing, and that is to check on your strong friends. And I think that's important, because sometimes it's those individuals who seem like they have it all together who may not. And just checking in could give them that little bit of hope and support that they need. So just think of that. It's not always who you think it is. We talked about 20 days left. Like, that blows my mind. I'm like, summer is here. So speaking of that, the last day of school is June 10th, Friday, 20 days. That's very interesting. May 23rd is such a special day, especially in my home. It is my son and my husband's birthday. They share that day, but what makes it even more special is that it is the Avid Awards event, and we will be there. That's how special Avid is in our home, that we have 2 birthday individuals celebrating the Avid Awards event. We're going to get dressed up and go, and I'm excited about that. I was able to visit the facilities tour at the middle school last week, and that was nice. Today I went back, and around 10:30 today I was able to witness the cement pour. I had never seen such a thing, and it is intense in a lot of ways, because you have, cement being poured, and then I'm talking about some of the most diligent workers smoothing out the cement and prepping it and getting it ready. And so desperately, I just wanted to run over and just place my hand down and then write Daima. But I figured, because I had on an El Segundo school district jacket, that someone will be able to easily point me out. So I probably shouldn't do that. So I didn't. But deep down, I wanted to. The kid in me. I was able to attend the Richmond Street School PTA meeting last night. And, Emily said it best. You sit in these meetings and you give your update. And, I usually sit through the entire meeting, and a parent sent me a private message with a question, and I immediately sent it over to Tracy, who then sent it to Dr. Moore. And I tell you, if you don't think that you have a direct line to a board member, you actually do. If you go to the district website, you'll have all of our email addresses, but there's a representative in every PTA meeting and every event, and you can easily, especially if it's online, you can give us a private message, but when we are back in person, it's just as easy as tapping us on the shoulder. And if we don't know the answer, we will make sure that we get the answer to you as quickly as possible. So please feel free to reach out to us. That's what we're there for. The highlight of the meeting last night was just everyone coming together and preparing to send the fifth graders off. And so all the events, all the energy just surrounding working together and making sure that as parents, as community members, that we do what's best for our students. And that's the thing that I love about El Segundo. The focus is always on the kids. And someone once said, where you spend your money and where you spend your time, those are the things that you care about. And you'll see that in our community with Measure ES and with the amount of volunteer hours from our parents. You can see why El Segundo is so loved. It's loved because we actually actively invest our time and our energy to make our community what it is. And by doing just that, this community attracts more people who then come in and make an investment of time and resources. And so I'm incredibly honored to be a part of this community. And lastly, today, with every single board member, we were able to attend the Honorary Service Award, and that was absolutely a treat because, all of our district employees were on stage, and that's so important. And our principals and vice principals just there on stage being recognized for their hard work. And again, just another reason to be proud and to beam with joy. It's always nice to be on the winning team. That's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add to the honorary service event. Emily, did you want to show off that pin you're wearing right there? This is a Golden Oak Award. This is the highest level of honor from PTA that can be given because Emily has given and given and given for over a decade here. How many years ago were you PTA
You're going to make
president?
me feel old. Let's just not talk about it.
A long time. Anyway, she's been honored at multiple levels by the PTA, but this lovely pin on her lapel is the highest level. So just want to point that out since you weren't showing it off the way that we wanted you to show it off.
I put it on. I put it on.
It's on.
But I do not like to
So
talk
everybody
about
knows
those things. You know that.
That's why it's there. But it was a beautiful event, and so many people. Glad that the folks that in 2019 or 2020 and 2021 were also acknowledged at this event, since we haven't had this event due to, as you know, pandemic things. So it was beautiful, wonderful that we could be there. I do want to reiterate that the run was an amazing other PTA event. I ran / mostly walked that, and it was such a great community event. I think those of us that were there really enjoyed just the being out with people again and doing something healthy and having just that true sense of community here in El Segundo. It's an amazing fundraiser, but it's also a beautiful day, a beautiful morning in the community. So thank you to everybody who worked tirelessly, especially Ellen and her top team on that event. It was incredible, and happy that we could be doing it in a normal sort of way again. So thank you all. Yes, Paulette, Chicago was an amazing show at the high school. I was just knocked. Well, if I was sitting down, I would have been knocked over. But it was really a truly professional show. It was amazing, and I'm glad that we can be invited to go see these things, and that our district does these things so beautifully. So thank you to all the staff involved with that, and especially all the students who worked so hard on the show. The facilities tour last week was spent at the middle school, as Daima mentioned, and we did get to see the pre-pour area of the gym. And now that it's curing without Daima's handprints in it, it's gonna start to show even more. You guys will see even more from the street than you've seen. I did miss the parade of cement trucks today. I'm sorry that I didn't get to see that, but I hope some of the little kids in town got to see it, because that's always fun for all the construction truck action. We did have a city school subcommittee meeting last week. We talked about the pool situation, which our city and Wiseburn are trying to solve. Mostly Wiseburn is the folks who have to own this, but everybody's working hard to try to get the pools heated again. And we will certainly tell you when we hear any more on it, but please know everybody that can is working hard on that. We talked about crossing guards and how appreciative we were of the extras that have been put in place over near the middle school for the rest of this year, and we'll continue to look at the traffic situations moving forward. And I think that covers everything. Oh, no. I guess the other thing was there was a lot of conversation last week about the Department of Health, the Los Angeles County Department of Health, but I imagine Dr. Moore might mention that. So I won't say too much other than I was involved in some of that too, and that was fun. But you'll add more to that. So I will cease to speak and just say I look forward to seeing everyone Friday night at the park.
Speaking of the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, I did want to get back to the board and report publicly all that has been done to make attempts to align with the state. So on April 20th, the Department of Public Health released a proposed draft of the new health order that was much more restrictive, requiring all students in a shared airspace to have to wear a mask. So working with superintendents within the county, we submitted questions, we requested a committee meeting. I volunteered to be on the committee. The committee met last week. We provided input. There were 6 of us on the committee, directly to Dr. Barbara Ferrer and Dr. Gilchek, who is involved with education. We also reached out to our city leaders. I personally spoke to a city council member, and also to the city manager to request their support to have public health align with the state. It is very important to note that the California Department of Public Health indicates in the shared air space that masking is strongly recommended. This is the same as the CDC. However, our county has opted not to do that. We were able to have 2 changes made that public health agreed to. One change was to not require everyone in a shared airspace that's large to have to mask up. So let me give you a scenario that I had shared with public health, and I believe Jack Stoker will appreciate this. If you have an assembly to introduce the prom, Jack, and you have 400, let's say 500 kids in the PAC to kick off the prom, and one student is COVID positive, and then let's say that student also has 5 other classes that they go to, so that's another minimum of 150 students that would be affected. Every student in that scenario, the 499 plus the 150 would all be required to mask for 10 days. So we'd have half of the students at El Segundo High School having to mask. So that got changed. Okay, that was pretty significant. In addition, the other thing that got changed was she at least allowed districts the option to go back to close contacts and not shared air. So close contacts would mean anyone who was within the 6 feet for 15 minutes or more during the 24-hour period. So I have sent out a notice to our parents and families today. I do anticipate that I will receive emails from parents that are unhappy that their option of making a choice about masking has taken place. But all I can say is our city officials, our own board president, collaborated with South Bay board presidents from other school districts to write a letter. I personally spoke with representatives from our Board of Supervisors, Holly Mitchell's office, to request this alignment. And so I don't know what else as a school district or as a superintendent I can do. So as ambassadors, as board members, I wanted to be sure you had the full understanding of the steps that city officials, our board president, and I have done to try to continue to provide options for families. So if a student is a close contact, they will be required to wear the mask. If the parent does not want to have their child wear the mask in the classroom, then they will have to opt for independent studies, because we have no choice but to follow the health order, as several members have shared with the public in the past. So that'd be quite a scene at El Segundo High School, wouldn't it, Jack? Half the student body having to wear masks.
It would. Thankfully, we had our prom assembly, I think, 3 weeks ago. So
Okay.
We avoided
Okay.
kind of that little
Yeah.
stretch of.
Yeah. But just think if it would have been April 20th or after. See, we tried to work behind the scenes to get a change. So anyway, this is the stuff we continue to deal with. We stay the course, folks. So
Just grateful that you got that out there, though, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding between the state requirement and the county. And you being able to explain that today, I think will clear up some questions that are already starting to be posed to us about what the options are for students. And I think that's the biggest thing that we should, and I think you did today, put out there. So grateful for that, because it'll alleviate a lot of the discussions that we'll need to have.
yeah, at this point, I think we are the only county in the state that is requiring this, just so you know. We are the only county in California that has put this requirement in place. So that's why people are upset. People,
and they should probably
and the mixed message of up until this point they were aligning. All indicators were, let's align with the state, let's align with CDC.
And they should contact their county board supervisors.
County Board of Supervisors is where they should go if someone is unhappy.
If somebody's unhappy, that's who they would direct their issues with.
Can I just take a quick moment to say just how thankful I am that you're connected, that Tracy is connected, and that we have two powerful, engaged individuals actively working on our behalf. I just want to say thank you for what you're doing on your daily job and roles, but the extra steps that you take to move us forward. Thank you.
And then on a lighter note, first of all, I have to acknowledge Dr. Mike Matthews, who's been my COVID czar during Dr. Gooden's absence. And we've had fun, right? He didn't think, he thought he put this in the rearview mirror, but it's been fun, and he's been a wonderful collaborator and partner getting through this together. So I'm very appreciative to Mike. I had a ball today going to see the concrete pour as well, but I did indeed get to be that child. And Pta D'Souza gave me a piece of rebar, and I got to carve into the concrete Dr. Moore ESUSD, and it was there for maybe 5 minutes before they polished over it. But we got photos. But it was going to be in the foyer there, right where everybody could see it. But I have to say, I felt like I was about 3 years old, and I think it was the highlight of my day today. So anyway, we've got photos, but no, it is not really there anymore. But yeah, and Eric, the construction superintendent, looked out the window and he called Pta and said, "What are you doing out there?" And then he came out and he said, "Oh, it's you, doctor. You can do whatever you want." But that is quite a sight to behold. Double rebar, that foundation, double rebar, that's going to be a disaster shelter. So what a prize for our community.
All right. Thank you for all of that. With that, we are going to now recess to close session because we didn't do it before the meeting. So I will say thank you to all of you who don't need to sit here and look at an empty dais as we go into closed session. And we will come back out to reconvene, essentially to just then close the meeting whenever we're done. So good night to those of you that leave. We are going to move into closed session now. Okay, we are reconvening in regular session at this time. It is now, 7:54? Sorry. 7:55. Sorry, I can't read that from here. At 7:55 p.m. For the report of action taken in closed session, I have nothing to report because no action was taken. At this time, I would like to see if anyone has an oral communication from the audience. Please come on up to our lovely podium.
That must mean I'm on. All right. So I'm Tanya Nodar, and I want to just thank you, members of the board and cabinet, and all those here, that we just really appreciate the negotiations process that happened this year, and that we thank you for ratifying our tentative agreement. And also want to thank those who are already going to attend our fiesta. If you haven't gotten your invitation, it was sent via email, so I'm hoping that you all got it. And we need an RSVP soon. So if you can join us, we'd love to have you. It'll be a lot of fun. There'll be tacos and just a relaxing kind of afternoon. And we're going to honor our retirees for the past 2 years, and also our Educators of the Year. So it'll be a fun event. And also, thank you for the Certificated School Employees Week resolution tonight. That was meaningful, and we appreciate that very much. And we're also grateful for the outpouring of love and support for our educators last week from the entire community and everybody here. So we are also grateful for the partnerships that support us as we nurture and educate and empower our students. So have a great night. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for staying to speak to us. All right. If no other further comments are coming from the audience, I will move that we adjourn at, what time is it, Dr. Moore? 7:57 p.m. Thank you all. We'll see you at the gala Friday night.